Abuse and toxicity within the game of Blitz. Unfortunately, we've all been on the receiving end of it in some form or another. However, it appears to be on the rise, and I have seen numerous posts from clan members and other players complaining about this. So I decided to look at what is toxicity and abuse, and is there realistically anything that can be done to prevent it? Hello again everybody and welcome back to Fujit's Blitz, and today's topic is why so toxic. I mean, we've all been on the receiving end of it in one form or another, from the mild noob to far more abusive and offensive language. But why? What's it all about? And is there anything realistically that can be done about it? So I've picked a few games that have been kindly donated to me by other players to have a look at the types of abuse and toxicity you will get. So first off, this is a recent game whereby the player in the drac is already stated, if you don't go the way I want to go, I'm not playing, I'm giving up. The game is only literally just started, and already he's thrown his toys out the pram, and there you go there, he shouts, I'm out. So now you've got a guy who is playing the game and is effectively going to ruin it for everybody else. And it begs the question, why? I mean, this is your classic case of inactivity in battle. Forget your AFKs. Forget the people who get your high pings. Forget all of that. And those are the people who normally get called out for inactivity. This is inactivity. And as you can see there, he now starts to get even more abusive, which is really bizarre. I mean, just to put you in the picture, and you'll see at the end, this is actually not a bad player. He's got a 60% win rate. So it begs the question, why on earth did he decide to press the battle button then play this game? And how on earth did he manage to get a win rate that's so high if all he does when people don't do what he says is stop playing? It's utterly bizarre. But we do get players like this, unfortunately, and there's not much you can do about it. You can report them to Wargaming, you can send the replay and all that sort of stuff, and maybe, yes, okay. You can downvote them on the military honor, a system that I personally think is broken, which I'll get to later. But once you're in the game, you're in the game, guys. And if one of your teammates decides that that's it, he's not going to play, then unfortunately your win rate is going to suffer unless you can carry the team. You know, because you're a tank down. It's as simple as that. And okay, I get the point that he doesn't want to play anymore. I get the point that he's obviously very annoyed, or for whatever reason, I don't understand the reason. But then to continue with the abuse throughout the entire game is absolutely ridiculous. And you can see, he is actually running around and playing, so I don't know why he's being abusive when he has decided to play the game anyway. It's just... It just beggars belief on what drives people to do this. But the thing you've got to remember is this. Blitz, realistically, is a microcosm of real life. And in real life, you get nice people, not so nice people, foolish people, stupid people, very intelligent people, angry people, mellow people, and, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to get these type of people. Not everybody who plays Blitz is going to be a person that you want to socialize with. Not every person you play with Blitz is going to be a nice person. And you have to also remember, this is an internet. I mean, you're hidden behind a mask of anonymity, to be perfectly honest with you. So you can troll, and trolls exist. They exist all over the place. And you can be abusive, and you can be nasty, and you can do all these things with impunity. And this is the issue. okay, you can use the military honor system and you can downvote people. But as you will see with this particular player, there is no point. Because he has a lot of downvotes. His military honor is awful. I mean, look at that there. He's a completely untrustworthy player. His military honor is 0. Yet he's a good player with a 60% win rate. So you have to wonder, how did he get there? And why is he so angry? Now, as you can see, he has a lot of unsporting conduct and a lot of inactivity in battle. In fact, he's had 280 odd downvotes in the past month. So I ask this question, why has Wargaming done nothing about this? Why is this guy still allowed to play and not being banned? It happens. So now we move on to a different game. So we've seen inactivity, we've seen a little bit of toxicity. This game takes it to the next level. It's very, very early in the game, as you can see. It's 30 seconds in now. And it's a game proceeding as per any other game, or so you would think. Then, without any warning whatsoever, you get this. I mean, that is just unbelievable. And then this. And there's no reason, nobody's been engaged yet. And already, this is not mild abuse. This is not mild toxicity. This is absolutely off the scale. And don't forget, guys, children play this game. It wouldn't matter if it was just all adults, but it's not. It's kids. So why on earth would you even wish that upon anybody, unless, of course, you are a jerk? And effectively, that player was a jerk. Now, you'll also see that I've been blurring out or putting big no symbols over the names. There's a reason for that. Firstly, there are data protection laws, and secondly, I don't want to get into trouble with Wargaming, because they take these type of things quite seriously. Anyway, this is a good friend of mine rolling out in his brand new K91, and again, this is another form of abuse, guys, and it's a game that starts normally, and it's a game that you wouldn't think, it's like any normal game, and everybody's come out to roll out in their tanks. And don't get me wrong, you can't win every game, you're not going to survive every battle. Sometimes you get ammo racked within the first minute and you will go back to the garage, but you cannot, unfortunately, legislate for certain people. Wargaming have issued these things of military honor, and they say yes, people get chat bans and people get these bans, and there we go. Automatically, you have the obligatory losers. Again, this is a good player. This is not some guy who has got a really poor win rate. This chap's got a really high win rate, and already he is abusing. He is shouting abuse at the whole team. And the irony is this, as a good player, if he spent all his energy on assisting rather than typing messages, the game wouldn't be as bad. And then he just singles out the K91 for no reason whatsoever. The guy's in a new tank, for Pete's sake. He's still getting used to it. And this is the thing, not all players are super duper unicorns, and not all players are going to have a good game. You will have bad games, you will have good games. And it just beggars belief why people would do this, because there is literally no need whatsoever. Anyway, next game, and it hasn't even started and the abuse begins. It's unbelievable. The game hasn't even started, still on the battle count, and the abuse is raining down immediately. Why even press the battle button unless you're there to just troll people and annoy people and just be a complete and utter jerk? And this is the thing I'm trying to get over, guys. Like in life, you will get some jerks. The irony behind this particular game is the guy has obviously spent a lot of money to get his Scorpion G. So if you're going to spend them, why would you spend money, waste money, to just then troll everybody? It's just senseless to me. It just goes to show that a person has got a bit more money than sense. And he doesn't let up, to be honest. The entire game is just him trolling the entire team. And the thing is, he could have used his energies on helping his team, but some people just play it to annoy other people. And this is one of the catch-22s that wargaming find themselves in. And a lot of people say, why aren't they banned? Why? Now, one of the reasons why is because this player here, for example, has spent money. He spent money on that tank. So, wargaming are a business at the end of the day. Their modus operandi is to earn money. So if you start banning them and perma-banning them and kicking them out for salty comments, then, you know, before long, your player base is gone, because everybody has a frustrating day, everybody has an annoying day, and everybody, and I guarantee this, everybody, with the possible exception of Amanet85, gets salty on occasion. People call people noobs, people call people silly, or they call people out for doing the wrong thing. Everybody does it, and if everybody got banned for being salty, there'd be nobody left in the game. But there comes a point when saltiness and abusive and toxicity are completely different. Salty is when somebody says you're an imbecile or you're a noob, and most people can handle that. But when you go and tell members of your family to get horrible diseases and effectively die, or you start using extreme foul language, then a line has been crossed. And when those lines are crossed, then wargaming should take action. Because effectively, this is a form of bullying at the end of the day. It's nothing more than that. And he continues to bully and harass and have a go at people. And there's no room for it in this game, but unfortunately it exists. And it will continue to exist until something more meaningful is done. And to be honest with you, chat bans are not that great. You know, you ban somebody on the chat, they'll just go out and they'll do other types of trolling or abuse. And the idea behind the military honor is, I would have thought, that if you become a completely untrustworthy player and you have a lot of downvotes for certain things, then yeah, you should be banned. Why shouldn't you? It's no different to if you as a player modify or cheat, wargaming will ban you because it's a breach of the rules. And bullying should be a breach of the rules. Simple fact of life. And there's no room for bullies. And as I say, not everybody who plays this game is at a ripe old age. There are children who play this game. They may, you know, okay, they may be teenagers, but they're still children. And a lot of these salty comments, some of them come from children, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them come from older players. And some of them even come from good players. I mean, that's the thing that always surprises me. But does wargaming do enough to curb this? Well, I don't think they do. And I think they should do more. Because if they really want to protect their player base, nobody wants to play in a game where people throw their toys out the pram and say, I'm not playing because you didn't go the way I said you'd go. No one wants to play a game where you get abuse hurled at you for, you know, your family should die or whatever. Nobody wants that. So it's in wargaming's best interest to kick these players out. Anyway, moving on to another form of abuse. So we've seen mild toxicity. We've seen extreme toxicity, we've seen intentional AFK, and now we're going to go to the next form of abuse and bullying. So this is again a good friend of mine rolling out on Himmelsdorf. It's quite a big game, it's tier 9, tier 10. They're going this way, and keep an eye on the Death Star, because I have no idea what he is trying to do. He has decided that he actually wants to climb inside that E75. So the E75 backs off because he doesn't want to be climbed all over by a Death Star. Now he's going to move in, and don't forget the Death Star is on a long reload. So he's moving in, and you see him move a little bit there. You'll see why in a moment. He's moved again, and he's moved again, and he's being moved again, and wonder why. That's why, because the Death Star has pushed him into the line of fire. Why would you even do that? I mean, that is outrageous. It just goes to show, I mean, the guy in the Death Star just decided to push the E-75 out of the way and use him as a battering ram. I mean, it's just bizarre. So, here's yet another game, and this is another form of toxicity and abuse. And as you can see, it starts off normally, and all of a sudden, boom, here it goes. Reported, abuse, bad language, and it's not just restricted to the team. He's put it in the global chat here. It's unbelievable. He's telling everybody to come and kill him, and it's just outrageous. And again, this is not a tank that is on the tech tree, guys. I mean, he's in the Angry Connor, which is a premium tank. So again, begs the question, why would you spend good money on a tank if all you're going to do is, well, play it like a complete and utter muppet, to be honest with you? But this is the thing. I mean, and now he's getting abusive of everybody else. He's calling the team out, and it doesn't stop there. It continues and continues and continues. And if he put this much effort into his game, then he wouldn't be, he probably wouldn't be a bad player. And it continues and it continues. And he was very proud earlier saying he has no military on it, he has no stars. So again, here's the question. Why is this type of player allowed to play in this type of game? Well, unfortunately, he pays. So it's another catch-22. Wargaming will obviously want people to buy things, so why, it's not in their interest to ban them. But I say enough is enough, and they really should now ban these type of people, because bullying like this is another form of cheating, and you will be banned if you cheat. So you should be banned if you play like this, because you're adding absolutely zero benefit to the game, and all you're doing is spoiling it for those people who enjoy this game and want to play this game. And I, for one, would be more than happy to petition Wargaming to do more to tackle this type of abuse, because it is completely out of order. There is no place for it in this game, and if you came across people like this in real life, some of the people I know would probably punch the guy in the face to shut him up, and other people can, especially if you're in the UK, could report him to the police, because this is a form of assault and battery, which last time I checked was a criminal offence. So why is this allowed to continue? Especially when everybody in the school systems, for example, is trying to tackle bullying, workplaces trying to tackle bullying and abuse. This is not acceptable in any decent society whatsoever. So why should it be acceptable in the world of Blitz? Well, I don't think it should. And I think it should be stamped out. By all means, keep the military honour. But when you get to a certain point like this particular player, you shouldn't be in this game. It's as simple as that. Now, I personally think military honour is broken. I think it's abused, and I don't think it's used for the right reasons. Like we saw earlier, there was a guy who decided to go purposely AFK, and he doesn't care. And yet there are people who have ping issues, and there are people who have connection issues, and they get downvoted. When, you know, people who've got proper issues should be downvoted. Anyway, look at this. He's done 0 shots. He's got 0 honour. He's got a 51% win rate. So you have to wonder, why did you bother? Why are you in this game? Go, leave, let the people who want to play, play. Because clearly this guy has no intention of playing. I mean, none at all. It's just absolutely horrendous. And you look at this here. I mean, in the last 30 days, he's just had provocative communication, unsporting conduct, inactivity in battle. He's had 28 complaints against 5 praises. that's just, why is this guy in the game? He clearly doesn't like it. He clearly doesn't want to be in it. So get rid of him. Anyway, this is the last game, and this time I haven't blurred the names to protect the innocent, because after speaking to some of the players, they said no, you should name and shame, because this particular player has been doing this for a long time. In fact, he's been doing it since 2015, and we think that certain players should be named and shamed. And okay, I may get into trouble later with wargaming, but that's my cross to bear. But getting back to the point, there's a mild abuse, which you're going to get, guys. You're going to get people calling you morons or imbeciles or noobs. I get that. I understand that. It's natural, because people get frustrated when they've died. And this is the other thing. You tend to find that those who are the most toxic are the ones who die early. What sometimes surprises me is when the really good players get toxic, because it would be better if they weren't so toxic and tried to give help and pointers. Now, I purposely decided not to show you any battle chat, garage chat, because that's a completely different kettle of fish, and you know that will only be removed if you remove chat altogether. This is in-game chat. This is where everybody gets to see the abuse and toxicity. And it does happen. I mean, unfortunately I lost the video, but I did have a replay whereby I think I was in a grilly. I'd taken 4 kills. It was on canal. I was up in a corner in a sniping position, and I kept relocating, and I'd taken 4 kills. And a guy in an IS-7 who didn't particularly play well got very upset with me. There were 2 of the red team left, and he decided to tell them where I was. Yeah, I had, I could see them, they couldn't see me, and all of a sudden, I was in a brawl with 2 tanks in a grilly, and one of those tanks was an E100. That's another form of abuse, which actually is a breach of the game rules. And if you look at the end user agreement, there are certain things that you can and can't do in this game. And I wrote a ticket to Wargaming, and they wrote back to me saying, well, unfortunately, because of data protection, we can't tell you what action was taken, but be assured action was taken. And I don't know if it was, to be honest with you. And I've looked up that player again, and I know he's still in the game. So what action, if any, was taken? And I think it's time that we said to Wargaming, and Wargaming listened, that the action taken should be for bad abuse. You should be banned. Simple fact of life. And we as a community need to do more to raise these issues to Wargaming. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with my friend being blocked by a Death Star and pushed into the line of fire for absolutely no reason whatsoever, which is still beggars belief. And then I've got a little clip right at the end, which I think is incredibly apt. Anyway, guys, you don't need to suffer this abuse, and you do have the tools out there to try and assist. Don't let it get to you. These people who abuse at this level clearly do so because there is something missing in their lives. That shouldn't stop you from playing the game. And, by all means, comment below. Tell us about it. Get onto the forums. Raise these issues. Get Wargaming to do something about it. And together, we can stamp it out. Really, we can. Anyway, I know this is a bit of a soapbox video. It's a very long video, and I apologize for that. But I think it's an issue that really needs to be tackled, and it's an important issue. So together we can crack this. By all means, comment, send replays, all the usual stuff. And until then, stay safe. Don't let them get you down. Have fun on the battlefield, and happy tanking, because it's all about fun and happiness. And now I'm going to leave you with a clip from The Simpsons, which perfectly highlights, well, what this video was all about.
Stampy. Put him once for me.
Gosh, I thought he'd be happier in his true habitat.
Oh, I think he is.
Then why is he attacking all those other elephants?
Well, animals are a lot like people, Mrs. Simpson. Some of them act badly because they've had a hard life or have been mistreated. But, like people, some of them are just jerks. Stop that, Mr. Simpson.
Hey, I've been Fujit and you've been great. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And I'd love if you would press subscribe. Who knows, we can do some more. By all means, drop me comments, tell me what can be improved and tell me what you'd like to see. I really love to know. Anyway, until the next time guys, happy tanking.